What's up, all you metalheads? Welcome to the Lunatics of Metal. What's going on, everybody? My name's JT, and with me, as always, are these two guys over here.
Jimmy!
Oh, that guy. Oh.
Alpha David.
Yes.
How you guys doing
Alpha,
tonight?
Alpha Romeo.
I guess I'm Alpha because you guys just put me as AFA and you put my initials on there. So
No, that's Jimmy that did that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
He was Alpha for 20 years before, so.
May.
My license plate in high school had that on there.
Oh. Alpha.
Back when that was the cool thing, everyone had to put their initials in their graduation year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now kids don't even drive.
What?
They don't want to.
You're right.
Kids drive
you're
all.
right.
My kids drive too much. I'm like, they're all
Your
over
kids
the
drive you
place.
crazy.
I'm like, looking at Life 360 and they're all over the place. I'm like, eh. Anyway.
What about Life 720?
Yeah.
They can do an ollie.
Yeah.
Ollie.
Ollie, oxen free.
Oxen free.
I was thinking that.
Seriously?
Yes.
Good,
You don't say?
anyway,
Yes.
we're just a bunch of knuckleheads. Going to be talking about some metal tonight. In particular,
way!
we're going to be talking about the band Machine Head.
You might have heard of them.
Pretty sure this was a Jimmy pick.
It was.
And we're going to be talking about the album Through the Ashes of Empires.
Yes.
And that is upside down.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But hey,
You got the sleeve in
Still
backwards.
No, I don't.
nice.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Nice.
I just had it upside down.
You just had it upside down. But anyway, that's it.
That's the album.
So,
Yeah.
no better time than the present. Machine Head is an American heavy metal band from Oakland, California. There's a lot of metal
No way.
in Oakland, California. No way!
It's almost like they're a Bay Area band.
The band was formed in 1991 by vocalist guitarist Rob Flynn, who came from what band?
Forbidden.
Violence.
Forbidden. Hey! Oh, actually, it was
Wonder Twin Powers
Forbidden Evil.
Activate.
Form of Rob Flynn's last name.
Flynn.
Anyway.
Anyway.
He was in like Flynn.
Formed in 1991 by vocalist guitarist Rob Flynn, who remains the only original member of the band. Huh, go figure. That happens a lot, especially when you get old like we are.
Isn't it Rob Mustaine? I mean, Flynn?
Yeah.
Rob Mustaine?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Machine Head's aggressive musicianship made it one of the pioneering bands in the new wave of American heavy metal. Its current lineup consists of Rob Flynn, bassist Jared Eckern?
Durka.
Yeah. Drummer Matt Alston and guitarist Reese Scruggs.
Household names, every one of them.
Yeah.
In Oakland.
There's been so many other members to this band that I don't even know that we can get into it. This band has had like 30 different members.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
There's some key ones we can touch on, but yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Which the debut was a seminal release that really cemented them on the map.
The debut
Seminal.
is the one.
It was a Florida Seminole.
It'll always be my favorite Machine Head.
I hope it was the one.
Still the one. Anyways,
We're still having fun.
but that debut release was affectionately called Burn My Eyes. Such a happy little song.
Yeah. In fact, they not too long ago had the 25th anniversary tour for its first album, Burn My Eyes, which came out in 1994.
And what also happened?
That would have been 30-year anniversary. 96 or
94. Well, this happened
that's
in like
okay, yeah,
2019, 2020.
Right.
What happened right after this thing got rolling again? Because he brought back the original members.
He did.
COVID.
Oh,
And that's what derailed it.
We don't talk about COVID on
Derail.
this show.
No, but that's what derailed that reunion.
because I mean, I did remember hearing about it, but I didn't.
Yeah, because we were going to go see him, and the show got canceled.
You were you?
Yeah, it was in Indianapolis. They weren't coming anywhere close to us. But he brought back Contos and Logan Mader, and I don't think Adam Deuce was a part of that. He was the only
Machine
one.
Head a lot in my lifetime. I've seen them quite a few times.
Same here. And on the first record, I saw him at least twice.
That's when I seen him the most on the first. Like the first
You know, one of the
years.
biggest names that I see in here is Phil Demmel.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
His former Violence cohort.
But like he came
Yeah.
later, in the later years.
This record,
Right.
actually.
This record.
Not Burn My Eyes, but the one we're talking about tonight. Through the Ashes of Empires.
Through the ashes of empires.
Their comeback record.
Yeah, kind of. It was for me. That's how I kind of looked.
No, I mean, it really was. They were without a label when this thing was going.
Because I'm not a huge Machine Head fan. Like, their whole discography.
Bam! I'm
there's
glad somebody said
a
that
lot of albums by them that I don't like at all, man.
because I didn't want to be the first
And
one
really,
to say that.
yeah, just give me their debut. Really, if I had to just live with their debut the rest of my life, I could do that.
Yeah,
I mean, they have some other good albums. Don't get me wrong, but
This being one of them.
yeah, this being one of them, but, we'll talk about that.
I had heard about Machine Head, but I'd never really heard them until listening to them with you guys. I'll just admit it. I'm not a big fan. They're okay.
So
Okay.
I heard of Machine Head before they were even signed. I seen them on Tales from the Pit. You probably the same.
Okay.
And it was just them. They were practicing in like a fucking storage unit, and they weren't signed to a
Gotcha.
label yet. And then I seen them in the Metal Maniacs firing squad, unsigned bands. And I was going to order their demo, and then all of a sudden I seen that they got signed, and I thought, well, I'll just wait till their album comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So I've been a
Right.
fan of them from the get-go. But yeah, they I really liked them on their first album. The second album wasn't too bad, and then I kind of just lost interest in them until this album came out, and then it kind of
Yeah.
re-sparked some interest in them. But then shortly after, I kind of lost interest in them again. So
Gotcha.
Well,
gotcha.
on the third record, they kind of went new metal.
yeah,
And Rob Flynn I don't think he'll ever live it down. That's back when he cut his hair and did the spiky things and wore the all Adidas jumpsuit.
right.
And it was like, he was
Yeah,
so,
yeah, the third album.
no,
Yeah,
he
no,
you could tell he was fishing that whole scene
So-
at the
He was
time.
just trying to
It's
figure that.
it's really weird because I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but listening to this album this week, and it's funny, I actually have this album because my brother was a big fan of theirs, and so he always made sure he got their stuff, and he would send it to me, and a lot of this album was almost it had remnants of new metal to me. And
Yeah, it did have
you know,
remnants. It does have remnants.
it's not totally new metal, but
But there is some little.
That-
you're
new
right.
metal hadn't quite- New metal hadn't quite died yet by the time this was released either.
Gotcha, gotcha.
There were still some embers that were going around.
You're right. So like
well,
this
and
album
it's funny
was like,
because
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just
Go
saying,
ahead.
like I lost interest in
Go
Machine
ahead.
Head after their second
Go
album.
ahead.
And then I heard the
So-
song. What's the opening track? Imperial or whatever.
Imperium.
Imperium. And I heard that, and I was like, oh wow, that's the fucking best thing I've heard since their debut album.
Okay,
think
so
you
I
might
do
agree.
have to admit,
He burnt me a copy, like a burnt
I like
copy
that.
of it.
I like that song.
Yeah, I do too. And he burnt me a copy of it, and it kind of got me interested in him again. And then The Blackening came out after that, and I thought that was killer. And then after that, it was kind of like, and I lost interest in him again.
So, Burn My Eyes is the one I've probably heard the most without
rules.
really knowing that I've heard it the most. You know what I'm saying? I just,
Like
they're not a band
Davidian.
I really, they're not a band I really got into, Mikey was a big fan of Machine Head back then. So
all of us
he
in the
listened-
band loved them.
Yeah,
back then.
he listened to them quite a bit. But I don't know. For me, they just weren't really my forte, I guess.
Burn My Eyes came out in 94, and that was whenever the whole scene was starting to change. They were shifting gears by slowing
we were
down.
blowing up. You guys were blowing up.
But everybody was trying different shit,
right
too. There
in
was
that
a lot of
time
experimental.
frame.
There was a lot of experimental shit going on at that time, too. New metal,
Right.
there was still alternative metal. There was people were doing industrial. There was death metal was blowing up. I mean, there was a lot of experimental.
But what they were doing was they were slowing it down. That was what they were known for. Instead of just being a fast thrash band, which is what was in vogue up to that point before, everyone knew they could do it, but they weren't doing it. They were playing more for the bounce, the groove at that point. And you could definitely hear it in Burn My Eyes.
Yeah, I think Burn My Eyes is great, though. I love that. I think that's an iconic album.
So,
but
it's funny.
I'm not a big fan of them either, Gerald.
Yeah. One of the statements in here is says, having experimented with elements of groove metal and new metal in its early releases, Machine Head changed to a more traditional thrash metal sound and longer songs with its sixth album, The Blackening. And I remember The Blackening because my brother was really into that. My brother and I spent a lot of time in cars together, and so I remember hearing a lot of it. But I can't really put my finger on why. I never really cared for them. I just couldn't get into them,
Well, it's the vocals.
That happens with bands, I'm going to tell you right now, without trying to piss people off, Rob Flynn is not a singer to me. Now, his vocal style, when he's screaming and, doing that heavy vocal, he sounds fucking killer. But when he stops to fucking croon, it's fucking horrible. Absolutely horrible. And there were
I don't mind him doing
songs,
it in
there were several
small
songs
bits
on this album that just made me cringe. I was just like...
You're right. Like...
It's like, dude,
this
somebody
album,
take the microphone away from him.
Here's the thing. Like, this is the album that kind of got me back into him, and then The Blackening was another one. Then I lost interest again. But this one didn't age as well for me. Like, as the more I've been listening to this one, I'm like, there's some really great moments on it. And I think the drum performance is awesome on this album as a full recording. I think it's great. And the leads are great, and there's some great songs, and so there's a good riff in every song. But there's at least 3 songs on here, maybe 4, that are just shitty fucking songs. Just man.
This album,
and for me, the very last song on the album is like
the last 3 to me are fucking.
I can't make it through it. Now, one of the last 3 songs I kind of liked. God, what was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Seasons Wither I thought was pretty decent.
That's the point I was going to try to make, is that this album, they were at a low point. Okay. They were dropped by the label, and they ended up, Rob, the Elegies DVD he put out was right in his time frame. If you guys had a chance to watch it, he basically goes through that because, they got Phil Demmelin on this record, which is his old buddy from Violence. And Phil hadn't been doing much before this, but I guess just playing for himself to keep his chops up. And the album was written and more or less recorded, except for Seasons of Wither. That's the only thing that those two worked on together. Now, I don't know solo-wise, but at least the song structure goes. But Seasons Wither is the only one that those two wrote together, because I remember hearing that back in the day. And then The Blackening, which is the next record, that's whenever they both come together, and you can hear the guitars just weaving back and forth on the solos. One guy would be shredding while the other's holding a note, and then the dude holding the note starts shredding while the other guy starts holding the note, and it just they weave back and forth like they're soloing.
What is that song? Yeah.
That's the one those two actually wrote together.
It's not on here.
It's on here.
It's not on here.
I've got it on my release.
It's not on here.
I think it was originally on the European release.
It's not on mine.
And it's listed in the tracks. It's track number 8.
Yeah, like it's not on this
Seasons Wither.
Yeah, I don't have that on here.
How many songs you got on your CD?
10.
Oh, there's 11. That must
there's
be a
11
song that they added.
Yeah, that was the bonus track for the European release, and then it later got put on the U.S. releases.
So I guess I got an old school one that doesn't have the fucking...
It's a great tune.
I don't know that song.
And a lot of time, when that first came up, everyone...
Jim was right. Seasons Wither did not appear on the original worldwide release, but was added to the U.S. release to make up for the delayed release. In this edition, the song appears between Vim and All Falls Down.
And Seasons Wither, when it came out, everyone saw that and they go, are they doing an Aerosmith cover? You know, because that was one of Aerosmith's big album cuts.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And, of course, it had nothing to do with Aerosmith.
No.
So,
Right, no. That song is definitely not Aerosmith.
So, yeah, I don't know this song. My album doesn't have this on there.
I'll be honest with you. I liked it. I thought.
It's one of my picks.
I thought it was a good song.
Yeah, I didn't. This could.
There is not much that I liked about this album. And especially that last song, "Descend the Shades of Night."
It sucks.
Absolutely horrible. Horrible.
Sucks.
I don't know what.
To me, the last
to
three.
put that song on that.
To me, 8, 9, and
All
10
Falls Down, Wipe the
fucking
Tears,
are terrible.
Yeah.
I think there's a cool riff in each
Here
one.
or there. All Falls Down.
The drum performance is awesome, and the leads are awesome, but those are shitty songs.
Yeah, All
Those
Falls
fucking
Down
shitty songs.
is catchy, but I don't know. Structurally, it's just not a good song.
There's some really catchy riffs on this record.
But there's some every song, even a shitty song, I have a cool riff on it. And the drum performance, like I said, the whole album, to me, the drum performance is excellent on here, and the lead performances are excellent.
Well, and the funny part is it's Through the Ashes of Empires. So to me, it's kind of myopic. It's very much like about the band going to such a great high and then crashing. And now they're coming back out of the ashes like a phoenix, which is what I think his whole intention was when he kind of chose that for his album title. Because, they were dropped. They got signed to Europe first and then eventually got picked up by the U.S. Label for Roadrunner.
Before we start talking about this Phoenix, I just want to read this paragraph to you guys because I thought it was really interesting. Machine Head's first 4 albums earned the band a growing fan base in Europe. However, the band would not have success in the United States until later releases. The band drew controversy with its 4th album, Supercharger, which came out in 2001. Which was released 3 weeks after the September 11th attacks. Its only single, Crashing Around You, and its music video, which featured burning buildings, was pulled from all media outlets. The band nearly disbanded in 2002 after negotiating off its label Roadrunner Records as a result of the controversy. Dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking tough, man. And I always thought it was wild because, some people don't like it, but I really love Slayer's God Hates Us All album. And that came out the morning of fucking 9/11.
Later. Yeah.
Well, and Dream Theater famously put out the live album where on the back it shows a silhouette of the New York skyline with the Twin Towers and a heart around it in flames.
I didn't know that.
Came out the very morning of September 11th.
Wow.
It's like there's no way they could have known. And I think everyone knew that. It got pulled off the shelves that day.
Well, Slayers did not, but what a fitting title. God Hates Us All.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal,
that's so Slayer, though. They don't give a fuck.
Right. But that album came out that morning,
I know.
And it's just a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
It's a great album,
Winky dinky.
by the way. Winky dink.
Yeah, I think it's a
Good
I
record.
love the first 6, and then that one is really good, and the other ones are kind of, not bad.
Yeah.
It's the best one of their later era,
Right.
in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, man, fucking.
Anyway.
Oh, and speaking of Slayer, one of the things that really helped Machine Head is their first major tour was with Slayer.
Yeah, actually, the first time I seen, Machine Head, they were opening up for Slayer and Biohazard at the American Theater.
I saw that show as well and got to meet Chris Contos there, and he's a big dude.
And then I seen him at the fucking side door, or was it called this? Or not the side?
The Other World.
The Other World.
That's crazy because I may have seen them at that show.
That was the last show at the Other World.
Yeah, that was in '94. That was on Divine
at
Intervention.
the American.
Yeah, that was Divine Intervention.
I had balcony seats for that, so I was up high looking
I
down.
was probably with you on that one.
Might have been.
I probably was with you. But yeah, Machine Head opened and it was Biohazard and then Slayer. That was the first time I ever seen Slayer, actually, too.
I just remember watching all the bands. I thought Biohazard was good.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing so much, but I like
their
them.
first 2 albums.
Slayer just destroyed like they always do. That's when they had Paul playing on drums, and I hadn't seen them with Lombardo. That was my first time with Slayer.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I just remember being like, this is amazing. I don't care if Lombardo's not with them. And then Machine Head, they opened the whole thing up. I think he's a great drummer.
I think he's a fucking great drummer.
Yeah.
But remember, he was filling the shoes of Lombardo at that point. He didn't have a lot of He didn't have a lot of history yet.
No.
People knew him, but not like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, and Machine Head opens the whole thing up. They got one record. They don't get to play a full hour. They're probably playing 45 minutes. Something like that.
It was like 30 minutes.
But they just came out and just ripped a new asshole to everybody. That place was just, because the whole place was just feeding off of it.
We already knew the album, and so it was
Inside
killer
Out.
to us. Went to see Machine Head. That was like, and then
a lot of people came to see Machine Head. They sold a lot of merch that night.
Yeah. I think I bought a shirt.
I bought 2 shirts that night.
And then Slayer. That was my first time seeing Slayer. They kicked ass, and so that was a great show.
Yeah, and I was wrong. I did not see that because I didn't see Slayer on that tour.
Or was I 18 going on 19? Either way. Yeah. Back in the day.
But it's great time to go see him. Like I said, all the bands were good.
Yeah.
I got to meet somebody, which, is a impressionable young kid. That's always kind of cool.
And Contos, man, me being a drummer, like the drum performance on Burn My Eyes that Contos had is one of my all-time. It's up in my top 10 or so probably drum albums. It's a great drumming on that album.
And the thing that blows me away, because I didn't know this at the time, is he's a punk drummer. That's his background is punk rock.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know it to hear him.
Yeah, the performance on that Burn My Eyes album was excellent. I love
That's
the
He's tight.
dude.
He's fast.
I probably need to get that back out and listen to it.
That one's great, man. If I had to live with just that one, I could survive with that. I mean, I'm not, like I said, a huge Machine Head fan overall, but that first album is special to me.
And then for whatever reason, something to do with touring is the only thing they list.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was out. And I remember back in the day, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then Dave McClain came in, and I got to see him on the More Things Change tour. And I think that was at the Galaxy. And I remember watching him going, man, he's good, but he's no Contos. Like, you could tell everything was more simplified. Contos,
but when this album came out,
Contos' fills were a lot more intricate.
Contos was excellent, but when this album came out, that's when I was like, whoa, fucking McClain, he's gotten better.
Oh, yeah. And you can see the progression in Dave's playing.
Yeah.
As he goes later.
And it's kind of a Contos, this album kind of, like, especially the opener, like, it has a fucking Davidian Part 2 feel to it to me.
Well,
drum dominant, and it was just heavy as balls, and
he also actually shines more so. Like, he took a great leap forward from Supercharger to this one. And I don't know if that's done intentionally or if he just got better, because Rob likes to steer the ship so much and tell everyone what to do that you don't know.
Supercharger to me sucked balls. I fucking hated that album. I think it's fucking terrible.
Now, I thought that album was much better than the previous.
But when this one came out, I was like, whoa, that's kind of back to the old Machine Head sound. And the drums, I was like, whoa, that's fucking killer. And like I said, I love the performance on The More Things Change. I think McClain's performance is pretty excellent. It's no Contos Burn My Eyes, but it's a fucking great performance.
And the next record, he takes it another step forward.
Yeah, it's fucking, But that's one of the highlights of this album is the drumming and the leads on this for me.
Well, this is kind of interesting. Machine Head recorded a demo in a friend's bedroom, funded with just $800. And Monty Connor, representing Roadrunner Records, listened to the demo and signed the band. The night of the signing, the record contract, Flynn nearly died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Dude, you just signed a fucking contract with a major label, so I got to go get some smack and shoot myself up.
I didn't know that.
Fuck, dude.
That's a bad way to celebrate.
He was into that shit.
Not long after Burn My Eyes released, Machine Head started touring heavily in support of the album, opening for Slayer in Europe and the latter half of 1994, a tour which ended with their own headline show in the London Astoria. That's cool. Following the success of the support tour, the band returned to Europe for a headlining tour in early 1995, performing in the same venues they opened for Slayer. That's fucking cool, dude.
And during that tour, I think if you may have this, Gerald, they Slayer put out Live Intrusion. And Machine Head is heavily featured on a couple songs because they get up and jam together.
They do a Venom song.
Right.
Featuring Rob.
Yeah.
Or something. He comes up and something at the end of that video. I had that on VHS. I watched the shit out of that.
Same here.
The band would return to Europe for the summer festival season, but Contos refused to tour, and the band drafted Walter Ryan for the festival dates. On the band's return to the U.S., Contos was fired because he was not keeping to touring commitments, and Contos went on to play drums with Testament.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know that.
He did that Judas Priest tribute record with him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right on.
I forget the track, but I want to say Tyrant, maybe. I'd have to look it up, though.
Tyrant.
When Machine Head began auditioning drummers, Flynn received a phone call from Igor Cavalera and music journalist Borivo Kring, Kurgan, maybe, who recommended him to Dave McClain, then of Sacred Reich. After McClain's initially declined, the band began auditioning other potential drummers, but received another call from McClain, who accepted the offer.
Do you remember the
McClain
band
was
Decay?
hired after the audition, leaving Sacred Reich.
The band Decay was some underground band. They had like a couple demos out from Dayton, Ohio. We seen them at Milwaukee Metal Fest in '95. Their drummer was killer, and he tried out for them.
Did he
and
really?
then I remember Decay. Then Decay broke up shortly after that. I don't know.
I always liked those guys.
I don't know if that audition was a cause of their Decay's breakup, but he did try out for them, and then Decay broke up. So anyway,
Dude, this kind of they had talked about The More Things Change, the album. They toured. Machine Head toured in Europe with Napalm Death, Coal Chamber, and Skin Lab. What the fuck ever happened to Skin Lab? They were fucking huge back in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still hear stuff about them here and there once in a while, but not a whole lot.
I'm
friends with some of the guys on Facebook.
We actually met those guys at Milwaukee Metal Fest and hung out with them. They were fucking cool as hell.
Not a big fan of the band, but yeah, I seen them open it for SOD one time in Crowbar.
Did you really? That's cool. Yeah, we saw them. We saw them in the, what was it, the Rave Ballroom, or not
the Rave
ballroom,
stage?
but that little bar. Was that the Rave?
Well, there's a
we saw
bar,
them and
there's the
Internal
Rave,
Bleeding in there.
Yeah, the Eagles Ballroom probably. I mean,
No.
The
It
rave
was
stage, the Rave stage.
Yeah, the Rave stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty cool.
Groovy.
But yeah.
Now, by the time this record had come out for Machine Head, they had already had the drummer change out off the first record. They had Dave McClain in, and he's on this record, as we've stated. So basically, it's Rob Flynn, Adam Deuce, who's the drummer or bass player from day one, and then they had Logan Mader on the first record, who I thought fit the band the best of all the soloists that they have had. Like they just work well together in that band's sound. And then he was out after the second record, and I don't know the reason why. I think he decided he does a lot of production work now, so maybe he decided to go that direction. And then they brought in a Rue Luster from the Bay Area, which whenever he got picked up, I was kind of like, that's weird, because like he completely looks eccentric and like his playing's good. It's just, it's different. He's not like a traditional thrash guy that you would fit in, like say Phil Demmel was. Right. And then Aru was gone after the fourth record, and then they brought Phil in, and that's whenever everything kind of got cemented and the band really took off again.
Yeah.
So there's been a little bit of shakeup.
Yeah. In March of 2003, Phil Demmel joined Machine Head as a full-time guitarist and started writing with the band. By June of 2003, Machine Head entered the studio with Flynn producing. On October 31st, 2003, Machine Head released Through the Ashes of Empires in Europe.
In fact, whenever they picked up Aru, there was a lot of rumblings from the people in the rumor mill thinking that Phil was going to be the replacement at that time. And for whatever reason, he wasn't.
Yeah. And apparently they were turned down by multiple record labels in the United States until finally Roadrunner USA was interested in the new album. They offered Machine Head another record contract.
Which is the label that dropped him.
Yeah. But they made the right choice signing them. Because like I said, I was getting ready to order their demo from Metal Maniacs. And then I seen they were getting signed to Roadrunner. And I thought, well, fuck, I'll just wait till they put out their album.
Right.
And that was a killer. That was a big album, man. I bet that did really well for Roadrunner.
Now, at the time the first record came out, it was 94, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that was the biggest selling debut record that Roadrunner's ever had.
Wow.
It had sold like 400,000 copies or 500,000.
Until Slipknot came out.
Oh, yeah. Slipknot just rewrote everything. But the largest release period up to that point was Demanufacture. But that's not the debut.
That was 95.
I know. That's the next year. But my point being is that's not a debut release either.
No.
And as far as I know, I think that went platinum. Because I remember seeing Machine Head and Fear Factory together at that first year we went to Ozfest with Pantera and all the other great bands on that lineup. That lineup that year was killer.
It seemed like I seen Machine Head and Fear Factory a lot back in those days. They were on a lot of bills.
Label mates, you know.
And it seemed like Fear Factory is one of the bands I've seen the most ever.
Same.
Machine Head, I seen them a lot back in the day too. They were just on a lot of fucking shows.
And Fear Factory is one of the tightest bands I have ever seen live. Like that, you could hit play on the CD and you wouldn't know if it was live or not.
I seen them a lot. I've seen them a lot back in those days.
And that's before people were really using tracks all rampant like they do now.
Yeah, the Burn My Eyes and fucking Demanufacture was two influential albums on me back in those days. But anyway.
Oh,
back to Machine Head.
I remember seeing Machine Head at the Galaxy one time with VOD.
I seen that show.
And it was the last show on the tour. And I remember I'd heard of VOD, but I didn't really know them. And I came back. I remember coming back after they were done playing going, man, those guys are killer. You know, they were great live, but it was the last show of the tour. So during VOD's last song, all the dudes in Machine Head came up on stage with nothing but silly string and shampoo bottles and doused the hell out of everybody on stage.
Hell yeah.
While they're trying to finish their song, and they're like, fuck you guys.
There was another band on that.
There was.
Was it
I
Cold
can't
Chamber
remember.
or something, or
It wasn't Cold Chamber. I don't think it was Seven Dust. I have to look it up.
I've seen them one time at the Galaxy with Cold Chamber or Seven Dust, or maybe it was both, or I don't fuck.
I've not seen Cold Chamber in a small environment, so.
I've seen them twice three times.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen them, I think, was at an Ozfest or something.
Yeah.
I seen them at Milwaukee Metal Fest at the fucking rave stage with like 30 people because SOD was playing. And we were watching SOD, so we came down before they were done, and Cold Chamber was playing.
That was the SOD reunion too, which everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's SOD!"
Yeah, so we came down and they were almost over, and then Cold Chamber was getting ready to play or something like that, or something I don't remember, but there was like 30 people down there, and then I seen them at a place called the Side Door in St. Louis with Aaron Edwards, and we had to like walk through a restaurant and go into this room, and I seen them there, and
that was the same night as we were down at the Galaxy, if I remember correctly.
That wasn't.
Because we ended up going to the Galaxy and then met you guys up later.
No, this was me and Aaron and maybe...
Because Aaron really wanted to see it because of Raina.
That was a different time. It was me, I think it was me, Aaron, and Cameron.
Yeah, I think I remember Cameron going to that.
But this was a different night. But anyway, I seen them a few times back in those days at small places. And I seen them twice at that Ozfest because they played... The first Ozfest, remember, they had whatever the side stage bands were, they played twice. Like they played, it was 5 or 6 bands, and they played, and then they played again. So I remember seeing Cold Chamber twice that day. I don't remember that.
I don't remember anybody playing twice on
the side
Ozfest.
Stage played twice. On the side stage, the whole lineup played twice.
Because they didn't have enough bands.
Cold Chamber opened up, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember, but they played twice.
Because that was 96.
I had a cast on my arm, on this arm. I had a cast because I broke my arm playing football. And then, but Megadeth was on the main stage and Typo Negative.
No, Megadeth was not there that year.
Yes,
Pantera was the headliner.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, because
Megadeth was there.
Pantera, I remember looking back and seeing the entire lawn, just 3 separate pits
Pantera
of
was there
1,000
too, but
people.
so was Megadeth.
I don't remember Megadeth
Typo
being there.
Negative was there. Fear Factory was there. Look it up. Pantera was there.
I remember Type O being there, and they were on the main stage.
Yeah, so was Megadeth, and so was Pantera, and so was Fear Factory.
Yeah, Fear Factory was there
And
too.
Machine Head, I believe. Jim, I'm a pothead, but I got a memory.
Here's an interesting tidbit. The band recorded a version of Iron Maiden's classic "Hallowed Be Thy Name" for a Kerrang tribute compilation album entitled
I have a
"Maiden
copy of that at
Heaven,"
home.
a tribute to Iron Maiden.
Yep.
This song was played live multiple times since its release and has become a permanent in their current touring set list. Amongst other bands who appeared on the album were label mates Dream Theater and Trivium.
Yep. I remember that. But yeah, they also did, what was that? On their third album, they did Message in a Bottle by the Police.
Oh, wow.
They did that cover, yeah. It's kind of
That's
odd.
cool.
But
Yeah,
wasn't
it
bad.
sounds different too.
It wasn't bad, though. It wasn't a bad version.
Okay, so there's a picture in here of Rob
some
Flynn
research
and
here.
Phil Demmel from 2012, and I swear Phil Demmel looks like he's playing Randy Rhoads' old V.
Yeah, that's what he basically played for years.
Is it really?
Not
That's cool.
Randy's actual guitar, but
Right,
yeah,
but
until he got his own signature.
Yeah.
Dude, Rob
It looks
Flynn's
a lot
a
like
fucking
it.
really good guitar player. He's a lot better than... He's fucking good. Are you finding it? No?
The search is not being as straightforward as it's supposed to be.
Ozfest St. Louis 1997?
97 had Black Sabbath co-headlining, and I was at that show too.
That was the first one, 97.
No, 96 was the first one.
No, it wasn't.
No,
It was in Arizona only.
we saw them the year before
97.
the Sabbath one, and the Sabbath one, according to this, is 97.
We seen them in 1997 was the first one. Because 96...
95, I thought, was the first one in
96
Phoenix.
was the first one in Phoenix, and 97 was the first one nationwide.
Dude, I love this. On March 17th, 2017, the band was featured on American horror movie The Devil's Candy soundtrack, along with Ghost and Slayer. If you guys haven't seen that movie, that movie's
haven't.
awesome, dude. It's
Really?
it's like the whole soundtrack is fucking thrash metal.
What year? 2000 what?
So that The Devil's Candy was a movie that came out in 2017. It was a horror film.
Never heard of it.
And trying to get to... They don't really show the soundtrack to the movie. But, like, all the music in the movie is, like, fucking old school thrash metal.
But yeah, man, Machine Head, they were successful. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of a lot of their stuff, but they were successful, man.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to this album 2 or 3 times, and
I listened to it quite a bit.
All right, I found
This
the
is-
list. And
Okay, hang on.
this
we
is
got
probably
it. We got
not
a little-
something I'm going to come back to.
Hang on, something.
You
We
know.
got to sidetrack real quick. We got to.
which this one says featuring Black Sabbath, but Black Sabbath was not at the first show that I saw with them. That was the following year.
I thought they were.
No,
I've
because
seen them, like, twice.
Ozzy played his own set by himself because they didn't know how big it was going to be.
St. Louis, the show.
It says Black Sabbath. It says Cold Chamber, Downset, Drain STH, Fear Factory, Machine Head, Neurosis, Ozzy by himself, and Pantera with Power Man 5000, Slow Burn, Typo Negative, Visions of Disorder. No Megadeth.
Really?
I remember Megadeth has played Ozfest, but I remember it was in a later year.
It was. I thought it was the same year Cold Chamber because I remember.
Because I know Black Sabbath wasn't on that first year I saw them. They were on the next year.
I don't know.
Because I had different seats. I went way down low for Sabbath. I was right up front.
But anyway, I seen Cold Chamber a lot back in those days, and I seen Machine Head a lot back in those days. I seen Fear Factory a lot back in those days. Seemed like they were opening shows and at the gates too. I seen them open.
I would have forgot all about Neurosis being on
So,
there.
I did too, because I seen them open up for Pantera and I didn't care for them. And so I like some Neurosis now, but I didn't back then. I seen them open up for Pantera on the Far Beyond Driven tour, and I just didn't get it. I didn't get them at all. And then years later, I kind of revisited them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it, and I like some of their stuff.
And that information was from Last FM.
Nice. So
anyway,
just
back to Machine Head.
Here's a little sidetrack too. The movie The Devil's Candy, the soundtrack, For Whom the Bell Tolls, By Demons Be Driven, from Pantera, Am I Evil, Sail into the Black from Machine Head, Killing Inside, Cavalier Conspiracy, just Blackfire from Gojira. You Against You from Slayer. I mean, dude, there's so much shit on here. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we found Megadeth
Anyway,
in '98.
If you haven't seen that movie,
skipped that year.
It's a cool movie, and the soundtrack's even better.
So Gerald, what's your favorite songs on this Machine Head album?
So let me go down and look at this track list. This is going to be hard for me because I really did not like this album. I don't care for Machine Head, and I really didn't care for this album. But if I had to pick some songs that kind of, made an impression on me, of course, Imperium's
that song's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good song to start this album with.
Yeah.
I already told you, A Season's With Her is probably my favorent song until he starts singing, and then it's like, fucking, I just want to fucking gouge my fucking ears out. And then, God, I don't even know what to pick for the other ones.
Yeah.
Bite the Bullet's not bad. Left Unfinished. I mean, it just... This is not an album that I'm probably ever going to want to come back to. If it pops up in rotation, it depends on what song it is. I'll probably skip it. Mm-hmm. It's just not something I really care for. And I hate to do this to them because, but for me, rating this, I'll be easy on them. I'll give it a 5. I don't care for Machine Head, and I probably never will. Just not my fancy.
That's fair enough.
I'm not saying they're a bad band by no means.
No.
They're not a bad band. I just don't care for them.
That's what this is.
I think Taylor Swift is really pretty and she's a good singer, but I'm not going to fucking listen to her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so
I get it. So I'll go next since it was Jim's pick. I'm kind of the same way with you. I like Machine Head more than you do, but I love Burn My Eyes, and I like the second one quite a bit. Like I said, I lost interest, but when I heard Imperium, that's what kind of made my ears perk up to, Machine Head. Like, it's something, the best thing I heard since Burn My Eyes was Imperium. But overall, like, Imperium is my all-time, that's for sure my favorite song on this album. And then my second and third, like I said, Bite the Bullet's pretty good. I guess I'll go with Bite the Bullet. And then Left Unfinished is okay. Elegy's pretty good. In the Presence of My Enemies is pretty good. And I like Vim. I think I'll go with Vim as my number 3 song. I don't know what the fuck that means, but... And like I said, I think the drum performance is great on this whole album, and the leads, and there's some really good songs on here. And even the bad songs have a decent riff on it. But there's some songs on here. There's at least 3 songs that are fucking dog shit, in my opinion. That's not very good. So I'm going to give this didn't age as well for me. I'm going to give this a 7. Because like I said, it's got some really high points. There's like Imperium is, like I said, it's one of my favorite Machine Head songs ever.
See, and Imperium's a great song, but
the rest
until
of
he
the
starts
album's
fucking
kinda,
singing, dude, it's just...
Yeah. There's some songs that are really bad on here, I think. The last 3 are dog shit.
I'll agree with you.
But, yeah, it's still a solid album to me. It's not a bad album because it's got some good songs on it, but it's just not a very consistent album for me.
Right.
And it didn't age as well for me.
To me, it just seems sloppy. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think
it's
sloppy,
you know,
but it's just some of the songs I don't like. But that's just my opinion. So I'll give it a 7.
Boom.
What do you
Not
think,
a 7.5?
No, not today.
No. Okay.
I thought about because originally I was kind of thinking 8, but then the more I listened to it throughout the week, I'm like, man, there's some shitty songs.
Maybe that would change if you hear Seasons Wither later, but who knows?
Yeah, like I said, I never heard
You
that
need to
song.
play that for him later, Jim.
when we
Because that song is really cool, man. It's got a really driving guitar riff in it.
Like I say, and that's, him and Phil coming together to actually write again.
Right, that's weird that I don't have that on my copy. But anyway, what do you think, Jim?
Well, I'm going to put Imperium just like you guys, so broken record there. But I think there's a reason why they opened the record with that, because they wanted people to know they're back.
Mm-hmm. And they did.
And that's a huge step forward in Dave's playing. Mm-hmm. To me, that was like he just learned how to do something he never knew how to play before. So Imperium's going to be my number 1. My second one, and the rest of these, I could probably switch them here and there. I do like all the songs on this record, some more than others, but there's a few that I would put in that upper echelon, and I would probably put Seasons Wither in that myself. I like it, and I agree with you about the singing part. The one thing that he did on the first record was he would build up and explode on parts, and it just felt right.
Right.
That record, the next record after that, he would build, and then he would kind of pull it back, and then he would build, and then he would pull it back. And that was his MO for years. Mm-hmm. He never quite released. And on this record, he still does some of that.
Right.
The parts when he doesn't do it are the ones that I think are the ones that you guys are more into, and I would agree as well.
Right.
Having said that, I still like when he does some of that, but it's like he has to pull himself back, if you know what I mean on that, to make the song grow.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting. Like in his singing parts, it's like he's lost all his power. It's not. I don't know.
It's just like in the first album, like Jim said, it was done perfectly the way he kind of did it. But then he kind of like
the more things change was notorious for that.
He got way into that world, and it's like, okay, dude, like you got way too into that world for my taste. But
he focused on the one aspect of his songwriting that most people, while they may like, don't want him to focus on. Right. The stuff that they want him to focus on is not the stuff that he was focusing on. Right. And he started to come back to it with this record, which was why it's a comeback record for them. But he wasn't quite there yet. The Blackening, I think, is the one that really cemented him. I picked this over The Blackening for the simple fact that this was the comeback record. This is the one that got them going. That's why it's got so many good talking points about it. And I would probably put In the Presence of My Enemies as my number 3. Okay. To be flat honest, I thought the song structure was really good on that. It's a longer song, which I like. And if you got rid of a few of those whiny or softier parts, I think that would be one of the best songs on the record, period.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like I said, the rest of the stuff, it's going to fluctuate from time to time. And I'm probably going to give this record a good 8. It didn't age as well, but it still aged well enough for me. Okay. Now, I would put Burn My Eyes as a solid 10. To me, that is an immaculate release.
I need to go back and listen to that.
And The Blackening, which is the one right after this, I would give it a 9.
I'd give it an 8. And this one the 7.
Halo had their second biggest hit ever. If you think of Burn My Eyes, Davidian, that was probably their biggest. But Halo, that's where they start doing all that bobbing and weaving with the guitar solos, and nobody was doing that at that point. And I don't know why he hadn't have done more of that before this, because they were definitely capable. But it was easier for them to not do it. So some of that, I think, falls on Rob.
Yeah.
And I think there was excitement with Phil being in the band again and him having his old buddy back to write.
There was some. It was kind of a little bit.
And then
energy boost.
And then Rob's control freak started coming back in, and eventually Phil left because he wasn't standing in the right place at the right time or holding guitar a certain way. And famously Phil announced all that whenever he left. That was the main reason. He goes, if I could have just been myself, he said, I'd still be here.
Yeah. A lot of people say Rob's hard to deal with.
Very much control, freak. He wants everything done his way, exactly his way.
Talented dude, but that's
why I said Dave Mustaine earlier. That's kind of his MO too. But Dave's the one that started all that in the heavy genre. He could still do it, and people are going to let him do it because he's Dave. Rob doesn't have the same pedigree.
Nope.
And they both, uniquely enough, are singers that nobody else sounds like. By choice or not, that's just the way things are.
Yeah,
they're both great players.
That's the thing. Like, as much as I love Megadeth, I mean, Dave's not a singer either.
No.
And he'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
Right. He's got some piss poor vocals and some really good songs.
That's why I like the earlier shit better, because he wasn't trying to really sing.
He wasn't trying to do that. Well, and Metallica wasn't either. James started that crooning bullshit later on.
Too.
And
it's like, oh yeah, yodel shit.
I mean,
dude.
Yeah, it's become a fucking lyric for him.
Yeah, it's like,
it's in every song fucking 15 or 20
sing.
times.
Just like Max Cavalera, he's never tried to change. He's never tried to sing. He belts, and that's what he fucking does, and he's never tried to change. And it's like, do what you do. You know?
Yeah. I agree.
So, anyway.
Yeah, so, Tom Araya was the same way. He never tried to change his
the only thing Tom did later on is he stopped doing those really high-pitched screams as much.
He couldn't hit them anymore.
I know, that's my point.
To me, some of the monotonous to the newer stuff with the Slayer is he got into too much of the like he was yelling, pissed off. Yeah, it was cool, but at parts. But then it became all he did, and it was like, okay, kind of lost.
Oh, I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, and I think he was compensating because he couldn't pull off those high screams as much.
Right, and not even just the high screams, like South of Heaven, he was more monotone and kind of.
Well, that whole record
it just worked.
It was a left turn for them at the time, and it was very controversial.
But yeah. So anyway, Machine Head, man.
Machine Head, man.
They are what they are.
Yeah. I'm not shitting on them. I don't
my hate cup of tea. I like some albums. Like I own 4 of their albums. I like them. I love one.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff I don't like.
I promise you, I'm gonna pull out that first album, and I'm gonna pull out that first album and listen to it.
That's the one, dude. That was a game changer at that point too. When it came out, it was a big.
And I'm sure I'm gonna recognize quite a bit of it.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah.
And The Blackening, to me, is another step forward for this band. Yeah. And if they would have stayed on that path, I think they'd be a bigger band today.
Yeah.
But they chose to do Unto the Locust, which was a left turn.
Yeah, and that's when I lost them again. I'm like, okay, I lost them. And I heard a few of them once.
At that point, I think they were trying to chase progressiveness, but not in a traditional way, because they were listening to so much Rush. They even hired one of Rush's producers. And I remember watching the interviews of them back in the day where they were wearing nothing but Rush t-shirts. And it's like, okay, I like Rush too, but you guys aren't Rush.
Yeah.
Be Machine Head. That's what I like about Machine Head, is when they are a Machine Head.
Right. That's why when I heard Imperium, I was like, oh, that's the best thing I've heard.
That's
since
Machine Head.
Eyes. That's Machine Head. And
I think the next record, The Blackening, is so much more solid.
Yeah, I think
as a consistent.
I agree.
Point.
And then they kind of.
On this record, we got 11 songs. I think The Blackening maybe has 8. Then The Locust has 7. So they started getting into longer songs, which could be cool.
Yeah.
Longer songs, yeah.
Halo's like, I think, pushing 10 minutes. I'm going off memory here.
Then they started getting too much.
It doesn't feel like it.
10, 13-minute songs. I'm like, okay, it was just starting to get a little bit much for me. But
but having said that, I love Change of Season by Dream Theater. That's 25 minutes. Yeah. And it's got movements within it. But I can listen to that thing from start to finish, and it doesn't feel like it. It all depends on the band and how good your songwriting is. Yeah. You don't cram it in just because you can. You do it because it feels right and it flows well.
Sure.
And in this record here, there's a little bit of, let's throw the kitchen sink in vibe.
Right. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I can see that.
The next one didn't feel like the kitchen sink, but it was more chock full of riffs.
Yeah. And a lot of cool.
I think it just flowed better because of Phil.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yet.
Not bad. So I'm gonna bring this up real quick because I just found out about these guys. Have you heard of this band Lex Legion?
Negative.
Nope.
Okay, so let me read you a little synopsis of this because they just released a song 3 days ago. They've got an album coming out in June. Okay, Lex Legion is a brand new band comprised of old friends with incredible heavy metal pedigree, comprised of 4/5 of the classic late 1980s King Diamond lineup, infused with the jaw-dropping vocals of Niles K. Rue from Pagan's Mind. So in this band, you've got Niles K. Rue, you've got Pete Black from from old King Diamond,
Right.
bassist Hal Patino, guitarist Andy LaRocque, who has been with King Diamond forever. So they released the song 3 days ago. And I just heard it today, and what was it called? Damn it. It's called Sleep Eternally, and it's pretty damn good, dude. I'm going to end up ordering this album.
Nice. Now, I had heard about those guys getting back together, but I didn't hear the name of what it was.
Yeah, and drummer Mickey D. So, I mean, it's the old
Which
King
he's in
Diamond
Scorpions
lineup.
now.
He was in Motorhead. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Well, and he was with King Diamond for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was with King Diamond before any of that.
Right.
Before Motorhead.
Yeah.
So,
I've got a Headbangers Ball from the 80s where King Diamond's got this platform in front of him, and he's at the center, and he introduces the band. They all come out one by one, and they go, here's Andy LaRocque, here's Mickey D, and it's like he's got this candelabra and shit in the background. It's
Yeah.
so King Diamond.
yeah.
But I have
know
a vivid memory of that.
the one song that I heard, because it's the only thing that's been released at this point, it's fucking killer, dude. Killer. The singer's got a really cool voice. It's not King Diamond. Don't go into this expecting
Send
King
that
Diamond.
into our group thing. The name of that into our group
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
So I don't forget.
You can get to the song. I actually watched it on YouTube.
Well, if you know any of the band members, you could backtrack your way into it if you have to.
Right, right. But yeah, I'll text you guys over that information because it was fucking killer.
What I want to know is it just a single, or are we going to get a record?
No. We're getting an entire album. The single is out now. The full album comes out in June.
Gotcha.
So
Cool, man.
That kind of reminds me of what I've shown Andy the last couple times he's been over here, which is Defiance. Which
really,
a bunch of old Bay Area guys together.
yeah. Yeah.
Rick Hunolt and what's the singer from Hyrax? You know it better than I do.
Caton.
Will is on drums.
Will
Hunting.
Carroll.
Will
Carroll.
Will Carroll. That's
Was
it.
it
And the guy
Good
from
Will
Blind
Hunting?
Illusion. Bass player from Blind Illusion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They've got stuff up on YouTube right now, and it's some of the best sounding stuff to me that I've heard come out of that scene in quite a while.
That's cool. Well, I remember. So it was funny you talk about Defiance. Like I remember when Chris Broderick first left Megadeth, he did Act of Defiance, and I don't know if you guys heard any of that, but it was
No,
really
I haven't.
good.
But there was an old thrash band from the Bay Area called Defiance. I don't know.
Maybe that has one of the guys from that in this. I wouldn't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
because
Usually you own the name
There's
rights.
an old band. They were kind of maybe like a third wave thrash band from the Bay Area called Defiance. So I don't know.
We'll have to do some sleuthing.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, if you get a chance, check out Act of Defiance. I've got one of their albums, and dude, Chris Broderick was into some heavy shit, dude.
That reminds me. Speaking of Megadeth, Marty Friedman, we all know and love his playing on Rust in Peace and so on. I never knew this until more recently because I'd heard about it, but I hadn't heard it, and I still haven't heard it. His first band that he had any traction with was a band called Hawaii, which was an old thrash band from the 80s.
Never heard
And
of that.
I've not heard it. I need to go back and look it up.
What was it? Cacophony?
That was after this.
That's when I first.
Cacophony was him and Jason Becker
that's
together.
when I first heard of Marty
And
Friedman. So.
Jason is got a gear that Marty doesn't even have.
Well, I know it was either last year. Was it last year or year before last? Marty Friedman actually got on stage with Megadeth again and played through some.
In Japan.
Something.
Played through some. Oh, I thought
Japan
was
for a
it
long
Japan? I thought it was Vakken.
Yeah, Marty lives in Japan
He's been living
now.
there for a long
Oh,
time.
okay.
He's married to a
Gotcha.
Japanese woman.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He got up and played, I think, Tornado of Souls.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
something else
That's
off Rust in Peace.
Yep.
Machine Head.
Machine Head.
And-
but anyway, guys, thanks for listening to the show.
Even though me and Gerald didn't really talk too highly of it, if you
Yeah.
like this style, go buy this album.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not
It's
going
a
to knock
solid
it.
fucking album.
Yeah.
It's a solid fucking machine. It's one of my favorite 4 Machine Head albums. It's one of the ones I actually like.
Yeah, like I was telling Andy, this is in third place for me of their releases if you ordered them.
Yeah.
The first one's number 1, then The Blackening, then this one.
I think this would be my 4th, but it's one of the ones I like.
Then I would probably put The More Things Change.
But Burn My Eyes, that's the one.
I just feel cheated that COVID got the opportunity for us to have a Burn My Eyes reunion
COVID
derailed
fucked up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
to the fact that who knows what they might have wrote some stuff, because I know they were in a studio at one point.
Never know.
You know,
But
is what it is.
What's our homework for next week? Andy, I think this
So-
is on you.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, and we talked about I'm going to do Morbid Angel, and we talked about different albums because I love their first 6 studio albums. I think they're excellent. But we're going to go with the 4th and final, the last David Vincent album, the 4th album. Last David Vincent album for a little bit.
Is that Damnation?
Domination.
Domination.
Yeah, Morbid Angel, Domination. You don't see people talk about this one very much. It's kind of an overlooked one.
In the death metal community, it was a little bit controversial.
It kind of gets shit on and overlooked a little bit.
And we can discuss why.
And yeah, well, we'll talk about this next week. Morbid Angel, Domination.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
We'll see you
sir.
next week.
All right, guys. Till next time, stay metal.
Politics to a crack in the tree. Raining with the seeds in the human race. Falling in the zombies, we're born to hate. For heaven suicide, visiting the blade. Common sense is acting, what a shame, yeah. What a shame.